After the gate opened, the ocean forgot how to sleep. The nights grew restless, filled with lights appearing where no ship sailed, and a strange, ethereal lullaby that no one remembers learning, a melody that seemed to rise from the depths themselves. I was naive. I thought freeing them would finally end the singing, that it would bring peace to the waves. But I was wrong. It only changed the song. And tonight, the sea called my name again. Just last week, a trawler battling rough seas radioed in a bizarre report. They spoke of a vast field of brilliant blue light, sliding effortlessly across the waves, making it look as if the ocean itself were breathing. Their GPS showed absolutely nothing out of the ordinary until every single instrument on the bridge went dead. The only sound left was the radio, humming with a melody I knew all too well. It was the same song, the one that has haunted my dreams for years. When they pulled up their nets, they found something caught in the ropes. It wasn't a fish or debris. It was a single, perfect coral petal, glowing with that same impossible, otherworldly light. There's a definite pattern to these occurrences. When you map them out, the lights trace the old, forgotten shipping lanes from centuries past, but they're shifted, slightly off, as if the sea is redrawing a map from its own memory, a map only it can understand. The scientific community has theories, of course. They call them thermocline anomalies, complex pockets of temperature variation. But the old fishermen, the ones who have spent their lives on these waters, they have a different name for it. They call it the sea's memory. I call it the wake. It's the trail left behind by something ancient, something that has been disturbed from its slumber. And with every passing night, that trail grows longer, the lights brighter, the song louder. That melody, it brought back Mara's voice, not in words, but in its rhythm, its cadence. I could feel her presence in every note. It's a phenomenon that defies explanation. When the song played, migrating whales would abruptly change their course, turning back from their ancient paths. On shore, old gas lanterns in the harbor towns would flicker in perfect time with the tune. It's as if the sea itself is using memory as a lure, a siren's call to the curious and the grieving. It dangles the past, just within reach, a beautiful, tempting trap. And some, they follow it just a little too close, drawn into the depths by a promise of what they've lost. I knew I couldn't face this alone anymore. So, we formed a small, dedicated team, a deep-sea diver who's seen things in the abyss that defy belief, a brilliant marine scientist who believes data can explain the impossible, and a seasoned captain who has lost far too much to these strange tides. Our advanced sonar began picking up something extraordinary beneath a remote coral reef system hollow, a vast cavity that wasn't on any geological chart. It was humming, vibrating with the exact same frequency as the melody from the old music box, the one Mara gave me. The pieces were finally starting to connect, leading us to a place that shouldn't exist. Descending into that darkness was like entering another world. Gravity itself felt warped, pulling us down into the heart of the anomaly. The water grew warmer, the pressure more intense. At the very base of the reef, we found it. Towering coral columns formed a natural archway, opening into a chamber, and at its center stood a circular stone, like an ancient altar, inscribed with the very same runes we found on the gate. The whispers we'd heard on the radio were clearer here, a chorus of voices from the deep. The dried rose I'd kept in my pocket, the last gift from Mara, began to pulse with a soft, warm light. My own heart started beating in tune with the deep hum of the sea. And then, she appeared, a shimmering apparition of Mara, not angry or vengeful, just immeasurably sad. Her voice echoed not in my ears, but in my mind. The sea will not sleep while the gate is open, she said. You have a choice. Seal it forever, or stay, and become its new guardian. The weight of that decision felt heavier than the ocean above, but in the end, I didn't have to make the choice alone. The sea answered first. A powerful current swirled around me, pushing me gently towards the surface, away from the gate. When I broke through the waves, the world was silent. The humming had stopped. But the ocean was still awake, its surface glittering under the stars, no longer restless, but watchful. I knew this wasn't the end. It was a new beginning. Next time, we follow the tide that whispers of cities hidden under the moonlight. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you're as captivated by these mysteries as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode.